At this point, I'd like to open up the Village Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, December 1st at 7:29 p.m., okay? I don't think you can ever be unloyal to America, so I'd like to stand for another Pledge of Allegiance, if everyone don't mind. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I just have one moment of silence, please? Locally, the mother of a firefighter, a local firefighter here in the dispatcher, Jeremy Corfa, his mother, passed away, and just want to have a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Roll call. I'll do the roll call. Trustee Alpert?
Present.
Trustee Corrigan?
Present.
Trustee Hogue?
Present.
Trustee Osborn?
Present.
Upcoming meetings, we have a regular meeting scheduled for Monday, January 5th, 2025, and a regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 2nd, 2025. Can I have a motion approving the November 3rd, 2025 Board of Trustee meeting minutes, please? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee Hogue.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. At this point, we're going to do a continuance of a public hearing for 14 Wayne Avenue. So I'll invite up the lawyer for the applicant, okay? So can I get a motion opening up the continuance for the public hearing? A motion to open up the public hearing, please?
Trustee Osborn.
Motion made by Trustee Osborn.
Second, Trustee Alpert.
Second by Trustee Alpert. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I just want to note that also Mr. Magrino is in the audience there. I didn't have him come up here, but we don't have to swear him in, okay? And I see our planning board chairman's over there, Rich Gandon also, over to the left there. So thank you very much. You can go ahead whenever you like to start.
Ready? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, trustees. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor, Trustee Osborn, Trustee Corrigan, on your re-election. This is a continuation of a public hearing for 14 Wayne Avenue for a special permit for an automobile repair shop, specifically a body shop. We were last here quite some time ago, actually, back in July. At that time, there were a number of questions that were raised, and there was a lack of information that was given to the board. In particular, the board had not at that time received a memo from its planning consultant, Bonnie Franson of Nelson Pope and Voorhees. That memo finally came in the middle of October. When we reviewed it, we felt that there was some missing information on her part, information she had not received, including, for example, the recommendation from the planning board to this board. There was information that she misunderstood. We felt that there were plans that she did not completely understand. We had attempted on a number of occasions to reach out to her, not realizing that she was on vacation at the time, because her outgoing message didn't indicate it. When I finally did get in touch with her, she said, well, I need to get approval from the board for further interaction with you. That approval was granted. We then submitted a supplemental narrative summary, which, at her request, which was dated November 18th, when I reached out to her today to ask if there was going to be any response from her with respect to the supplemental narrative, she said that she was awaiting further direction from the board. I understand that that's the process that the village has, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. But it really has been an impediment to getting full understanding of this project, and I think it's an impediment to the board's potential understanding. Very simply, and to remind you of what's going on, my client is the owner and operator of Route 202 Auto Body, which is currently located at 16 Wayne Avenue. Through a different LLC, he purchased the property immediately next door at 14 Wayne Avenue with the idea that the old house that was there, which is a non-conforming use, would be torn down, replaced with a 3-bay garage, and this way he would be able to operate more efficiently. Currently, the operation is contained in the building at 16 Wayne Avenue, which is a former firehouse for the village of Suffern. So all the work for the body shop goes on there. Preparation of the cars, body work, painting, and then the preparation afterwards so that it can be returned to the owner. Because of the way the building is laid out and because it wasn't purpose-built, it's a very inefficient operation. What he wants to do is he wants to be able to build this new 3-bay garage on 14 Wayne Avenue so that he can do all that pre and post work prep in that building and devote the old firehouse to the body work and the painting. In order to get cars back and forth, he would have to take vehicles from 14 Wayne, drive onto 202, drive into 16 Wayne. In her memo, Ms. Franson said, well, you know, that doesn't sound like it's such a great idea. You're going to have cars going out onto Route 202. We did a little investigation. There are 2 other body shops right there that do exactly the same thing. And it doesn't seem to cause a problem, and it hasn't caused a problem here. So we're not quite sure why Ms. Franson feels that that's an issue. We would like to meet with her out on the site, show her how it works. Board members are also invited to come out to the site, and we think that that would be a salutary thing, to come out to the site to see exactly how this works. Because he does, in fact, at this time, store vehicles in preparation for repair at 14 Wayne, drive them over to 16 Wayne along Route 202 and back. Ms. Franson also questioned the number of vehicles that could be stored, and she did some math which, quite frankly, I don't understand. She seemed to think that there would be a loss of 12 spaces because of the proposal that we have, and it's just not correct. First of all, she doesn't take into account the 3 bays in the garage that's being proposed. She seems to think that there are areas within 14 Wayne that would not be available for cars to be stored while they're awaiting repair. She followed that up, frankly, inexplicably to me, and I'm not running her down. Please let me understand that. I've known Bonnie Franson for 2 decades. When I give the introductory courses for the Loughlin Municipal Planning Federation, she's my co-presenter. Okay, so I have the utmost respect for her, but I think she just doesn't quite understand what's going on here, and if she doesn't understand, that's on me. Okay, but I think going out there and talking with her and showing her what's going on would work. She actually appended to her memo photographs that appear to be drone photographs. I'm not sure how they were obtained, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, that showed somewhere between, I think it's between 18 and 30 vehicles stored on the site. Okay. Those vehicles, that complement would still be there. There would be no loss. We calculated that there would be 31 spaces available. The planning board, when it considered this, took a good look at it. They granted us a negative declaration. The ZBA, when we went there, granted us a variance for the number of parking spaces. The variance for parking spaces was necessary because auto body shops, auto repair shops don't work the way that retail stores do. Okay, with a retail store, you need parking spaces where customers can come in, can go out on a regular basis. With an auto body shop or a repair shop, cars come in, okay, they stay there for however long it takes for the vehicle to be repaired, 2 days, 3 days, a week, hopefully not longer for the sake of the customer, okay. If they're moved around at all, they're moved around not by customers, okay, but by the employees who work there. And so you can get some tighter tolerances than you would if you were doing customer spaces. So we believe that we have answers to the questions that Ms. Franson has. We believe that we can also provide answers to any additional questions that the trustees have, but we think that there's a different way of going about this rather than trading memos back and forth.
Okay. Are you done with your, you finished?
Yeah, at the moment. So the basic request is that you advise Ms. Franson that she can meet with me out in the field to take a look around. Any of the trustees that want to come would certainly join, and we think that that would be the best way to get the information out to her and to you.
That's what I think. Right, okay. The way I see it, this is in front of this board now, so that's how I think we handle it. So you can go with your memo, you know, or whatever you do, but this is in front of us now, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. So, I mean, unfortunately, I know the property better than most. I'm, you know, within distance of it, you know, eyesight of it, huh? So, and all the properties you mentioned. So,
Right, I know that.
So I'm not, you know, so at this point, I mean, if you're done with your presentation, I'd rather see if anyone from the public has anything to say also.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Does anyone from the public have any comments? Come on up to the microphone. Please identify your name and address, please.
Joseph Gravagna, 6 Beechwood Road, Suffern. If the gentleman's trying to...
Just speak up a little bit.
Sorry. I think that the board should be encouraging more businesses to come into the village, whether it be a new business or existing business that's trying to refurbish their business, either way, honestly. And I know that this board does a good job with everything they do. I just want to make sure that people like this gentleman that's before the board have an easier time with it. We should be increasing our tax base. As someone that owns a company here in the village, and has worked many businesses, we have a very difficult time sometimes with federal state money coming into the village for various reasons. And more importantly, we have to worry about people moving out of the village. So we have to make sure that our tax base is increased. So whether a company's coming to change their existing business, or if they're coming to refurbish their business and need a variance, whatever they need, the board should be adaptable to that. We have a lot of empty stores, and we have people running out of the village to other towns next door to Mawar and to other neighboring communities. Thank you.
This board fully recognizes you can have a seat. This full recognizes we have promoted businesses, we have promoted more businesses, and that's why we've been able to give a 0% tax increase for 4 years in a row. But I don't know where this board is going with a vote yet, but I also believe in responsible zoning, which hasn't been done in many communities around us. And I will fight for responsible zoning and responsible planning. So it's always good to say, hey, let's get more, let's get this, let's get that, but it has to be done with a responsible attitude, watching all concerns, traffic and how many cars, and many different concerns there. So it can't just be, let's just get more and more. We've watched that problem surround us, and that is a serious problem. So this board takes these things very seriously. Thank you. But thank you for your comment. Yeah, I know. No one else from the public? We're all good? Would you like to say something else, sir?
Well, again, repeat the request. As you probably know, and I know that other members of the board probably know, it's not unusual for board members to go out and do site visits. The planning board on a regular basis goes out and does site visits. I'm sure that the ZBA members do that as well. There's certainly no prohibition about it. Mr. Mayor, I understand that you have your business immediately down the street from here, and so you're there on a regular basis. Other board members may not be so familiar with it, and I think it's really important that the board members go out and take a look, that Ms. Franson go out and take a look. I don't know if she's ever actually been to the site. She's never responded to that question to me. It's a very, very normal type of thing to go out and do a site visit for these sorts of situations.
All right, Mr. Osborn, as the former police chief, do you know the site, sir?
I know
Well, I drive by it every day also, yes.
Every day, okay, drive every day. Trustee Hogue, do you know the site?
I know the site. I've driven a couple of
You know,
times.
okay. Trustee Deputy Mayor
Yes.
Corn, do you know the site?
Yes, I walk by it.
Trustee Alpert, do you know the site?
I know the site. I don't like, I have to tell you, I don't like the house that's on the site that would, you know, I welcome getting rid of that house for sure. I think it's an eyesore to that neighborhood.
We agree.
Well, that's because they let it become an eyesore, sadly enough. There were people living in that years ago, I recall. So it became an eyesore because it was let to become an eyesore. So just because someone lets it become an eyesore, you don't gain a zoning advantage. Otherwise, you'd be done. It'd be a strategy against you. And maybe that strategy is done other places of the town. But I'm not going to let that strategy
Well,
part of...
that's not the case here, Mr. Mayor.
But it was a house with people living there.
Agreed.
And I recall that also. So I don't know if you're aware of that, Mr. Alpert, okay?
Yeah.
But people lived there.
I
so-
understand.
Let me make a suggestion. If the board doesn't have any questions, you know, there's a history on this. Our planner has done an analysis of it. Mr. Emmanuel wrote a letter.
Mr. Rice, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I was saying that Ms. Franson, our planner, had done an analysis. You have some questions that you raised in your letter. I think if the board doesn't have any questions, what I might suggest as an appropriate means to move this towards a decision, that you close the public hearing and allow Ms. Franson till, say, the end of the week just to put in a response to Mr. Emmanuel's letter. She was on vacation last week. Actually, she was ill, and she said that she did want to address some of the things that you said in your letter. So my suggestion would be close the public hearing and allowing Ms. Franson until the close of business on Friday to respond to Mr. Emmanuel's letter.
And of course, any trustee that wants to go visit the property, feel free. To me, that's your responsibility. I know the planning board members do it. I know the ZBM members do it all the time. It's a constant. It's part of the process to know what exists around you. So you're all welcome. They're always welcome. Matter of fact, they'd be derelict if they didn't know the property. So that I have no problem with. So I think that's reasonable. It makes sense. I've done it. I know other people have done it. I'm sure the police chief has. Former police chief, Andy, I don't want to sell you out, chief. Okay, so at this point, we'll go with that. We'll give Monty Francis, she'll give you a chance to answer you, and any trustee or board member who wants to go look at the property, feel free to look at the property, okay? And so at this point, based on that, can I have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee
Second made
Hogue.
by trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would ask also that you release Ms. Franson to engage in a dialogue if after I receive her memo, I still have questions with respect to it.
Can you say a little louder? Go to
Sure.
my phone. Yeah.
If I still have some questions of Ms. Franson after we receive her memo, I'd like you to release her to have conversation with me at this point so that we can get to a point where full information is available to the board from her.
I don't think it's appropriate once there's an application formally pending before the board for an applicant and staff to be having conversations out of the view of the public.
Happens all the time, Terry, you know that.
Village board. I think there's a due process issue there.
Fine. We'll do it your way. Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
At this point, can I have a motion to open a public hearing for adjusted property maintenance fees, which I will then we'll do a continuance on that one, right? So let's have a motion, open it up, please.
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion open by trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Osborn.
Second by trustee Osborn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We're still working on the adjusting the property maintenance fees, so at this point, if there's no comment, I'd like to close that.
Adjourn it to January.
I'm going to adjourn it to January 5th, the next meeting, okay? So I have adjournment for the adjusting the property maintenance fee to the board meeting of January 5th, please. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Hogue.
Second made by trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion. At this time, I have a motion to open up the continuance to amend Chapter 266 of the Code of Village of Suffern, the zoning law, by adding a new section prohibiting short-term rentals in the Village of Suffern. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Motion made by trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Osborn.
Second made by trustee Osborn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Yeah, just I want to if anyone has anything to say.
Okay.
Does anyone, in reference to that, does anyone have anything to say in reference to the, no, we did receive your materials, I have read them, okay?
I mean, I also,
If you want to speak, you have to come to the microphone. That way there's a record, we can hear it. You can't hear it from there.
I can talk loud,
Yeah.
So I also did a research if there was actually any statistics of an increased crime in short-term renters versus long-term rentals, and there is not. The only time they see increased crime is they see increased noise ordinances where there are a lot of high-density short-term rentals. But if you're allowing long-term rentals, there is absolutely no research that short-term rentals have a higher incidence of crime than long-term rentals, just as a fact. And I'm just looking at a community that's trying to raise revenue, and this looks to me as a way to be selective and to do that. But it sounds like it was already voted for, so I'm just stating this as why I think that they should be allowed.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the amendment to the zoning law was required, and the board did refer it to the County Department of Planning for their review and recommendation. We received that. They made a couple of minor suggestions which were implemented in a revised version of the local law. Our zoning law also requires that it be referred to the Village Planning Board for their review and recommendation. They haven't had a meeting since it was referred to them. The zoning law provides 60 days for them to respond. The 60 days have not elapsed as yet, so what I would suggest that the board continue the public hearing for the January meeting, during which time presumably we'll get a recommendation from the planning board.
So, based on that, any other comments for anyone else? Reference to short-term rental? Being none, can I please have a motion to adjourn the meeting to January 5th, 2025? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, trustee Hogue.
Second made by trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So we just had a continuance because we have to wait for a recommendation by law from the planning board also, huh? So we follow the law, and we're going to follow the law. So we'll have it up on, it'll be up on January 5th, right? Thank you very much. At this point, police department, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Village Board. First off, congratulations to everyone on their, the three of you that were reelected, and to everyone that was appointed to a position tonight. In the month of November, the police department responded to 868 calls for service. I just wanted to give a quick update to the board on our PBA Dare Toy Drive. We've been collecting toys for the past couple weeks. They're coming in steadily. At this point, we're planning on having our toy drive sorting event on Wednesday, December 17th at 5 p.m. at the community center. I think everyone on the board has been to these before. They're a lot of fun. The community is welcome to come and volunteer and assist, and we do rely on their help a lot with the sorting and the shopping for the families. So if anyone can make it that night, we'd love to see you there. I just have one agenda item for the board's consideration tonight. Rockland County Stop DWI has allocated $10,000 from county funds to be utilized by our department for impaired driving enforcement overtime in 2026. In order to accept that money, we would need a resolution from the board. So at this point, I would respectfully request the board pass a resolution to accept these funds to be utilized for impaired driving enforcement.
I have a motion accepting the $10,000 from the County of Rockland Stop DWI to be utilized for DWI patrols. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee Alpert.
Second made by Trustee Alpert. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Fire
Thank you,
Department,
Chief.
please. Fire Department, Chief. Just wanted to let you know, in that Total at Patterson Parade, it was great. The eyes, people loved it.
I heard we got first place trophy.
First place trophy. It was a fan favorite. It was great. People
Always
really.
is.
Who we heard?
What's that?
Always is.
Yeah, it was a fan
Nice.
favorite.
They put a lot of work into that trophy. They spent like 3 or 4
actually,
days.
they loved it. I got out, did my video of it. Yeah, I had a good time. You know what I mean?
The quality could use a little bit of work, but the video, not the
Oh,
trophy.
the video, listen, I said I wasn't as good as I should have been, so that's okay, right? But I had to jump out of the car, jump back in the car. It was
Did you enjoy yourself? It looked
I
like fun.
enjoyed myself. Yeah, watching all the kids be happy is what makes it worth more than anything.
Absolutely.
So,
Looking forward to ours as well.
very good. Yes,
Good
yes.
evening, Mayor.
This Saturday we has ours at 6:30, folks, Lafayette Avenue. Come on down. All right. A lot of hooting and hollering. Come on, have fun.
A lot of fire trucks, lights, a lot of noise.
Right.
Good evening, Mayor and Village Board. First, I want to congratulate those that were reelected and appointed as well. The first item I have on the agenda tonight is accepting Mohammed Cameron as a junior member under 18 years old in the Hook and Ladder, Company Number 1.
Can you do me a favor?
Could I lump them
Consent
together?
agenda, do all 5. Yep.
Okay, 5 or each company? I
You
have
can
2
do all
and 3.
5. It's
Two
all
or five?
it's all the
Okay.
stuff in fire department. I know sometimes you guys
Essentially.
don't realize that, but they are.
Yes, got it. All right, so the first through 5th items are accepting Mohammed Cameron, Alice Vega Chuco, Gabriel Durilis, Nicholas Beers, Jimmy Torres as new members under 18 years old of the Suffern Volunteer Fire Department.
I have the motion accepting under fire department 6A through E in the Hook and Ladder and the hose company, please.
Trustee
Under
Osborn.
18-year-olds. Motion, please.
Trustee Osborn.
Motion made by Trustee Osborn. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee
Second
Corrigan.
played by Trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least, I'd like to declare 5 of our AED units as surplus. They'll be listed and on Gov Deals, and essentially what we do is try to, sell them. They're bid on, and then the money goes back to the village.
Very good, very good. Can I have a motion declaring 5 AED units as surplus, please? Motion, please.
Trustee Hogue.
Motion made by Trustee Hogue. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee Alpert.
Second made by Trustee Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Very good, Chief. Thank you, all right?
Thank you, appreciate it.
We'll see
If
you.
I
I like
may?
your haircut. You got a haircut, too, eh?
Yes.
Looks
yes, I had
good. Looks
to.
sharp. Looks sharp.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Very good.
If I may, just a second for something that wasn't on the agenda.
Go ahead.
Back in July, as a celebration of our 125th year anniversary is serving the community.
Yeah.
We took a apparatus photo, as we do traditionally, about every 20 years, 15 to 20 years. So on behalf of the Suffern Fire Department and Suffern Volunteer Firemen's Association, I'd like to present the mayor and the village board a framed copy of the photo.
Come on up. Come on up. Let's
Oh,
see.
wow.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Kathy,
Hopefully it
get
gets
the
hung
camera.
up.
Oh,
Let's get a
wow.
picture. Everyone stand up in the back here. We can get a
Hopefully it
picture
gets
of
hung up in the
That
village.
looks like a real good place you took that, isn't it? That's a good spot.
I don't know what you're talking
Come on,
about.
let's get a quick picture of this, okay? Trustee, come on.
It's contingent upon not being hung up in the village hall. Thank you.
Police department never gave us anything. It's funny. Charles gave me some things. Charles gave me a headache. Right here. I'll have to bring the frame. It was a little cheap, the frame. I'll bring it back to the dollar store. I'll get a refund, and then I'll get another frame. All right, Chief? All right, okay. Sorry, Chief. Somebody got to be funny around this joint. Okay? Fire department, okay. Okay, at this point, I have a motion to open up the public comment period, please. Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan?
Motion made by Trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Trustee Hogue.
Second made by Trustee Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. At this point, anyone have anything to say? Mr. Levine, I think you have something to say. Okay, that's enough, sir. Go ahead.
You know I'm known as Long-Winded Levine. So,
Go closer
so
to
I
the
just
microphone.
wanted you all to know that my plan is to no longer be a traffic prosecutor as of the end of December. I'll do the December meeting, and then I'll be finished. It's part of my plan to actually try to move into retirement, and I wanted to thank all of you basically for your confidence in me and my judgment, and in terms of trying to make the traffic and violation process a little less painful for residents and even visitors, and still raise revenue for you guys, and try to do the right thing on every single case, which is what I've tried to do. You don't need me, because Mr. Glidden is just fabulous, and he's constantly grabbing things from me to do, and I certainly recommend that you continue with him in all ways. And thank you.
Mr. Levine, thank you. I just want to say that I'm speaking on behalf of the board. We thank you for your service, not just the professionalism you showed, but also the care you gave to people when they had situations, and being distributed justice with a fair hand. And that's very important in life, to have a fair hand when it comes to justice. So we thank you. We hope you enjoy your good times. I hope your wife's ready for you to be home more now. That's the only thing. So that could be a problem, sir. All right. Okay. Very, very good. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Anyone else have any other comments? Okay, being there's no other comments, can I have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion,
Motion
Trustee
made by
Alpert.
Trustee Alpert. Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Corrigan?
Second made by Trustee Corrigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Just use this one.
Department of Public Works, Charles Sawicki, please.
Good evening. I have one item, resolution declaring various vehicles owned by the Village of Suffern to no longer be needed for municipal purposes and to be surplus.
Right. This village over the last 3 or 4 years has bought multiple pieces of equipment, and because other equipments have aged out. So what we do now is we put these older pieces of equipment as surplus. We go and we sell them, and we get some sort of funds for them. So that's what we'll be doing here. So we'll be surplusing older equipment, back to 96, 97, even 94 and 99. So different equipment. So I'm sure they'll be coming asking for more equipment now again, but this board will do anything we can to make it a safe and a good working environment. So I have a motion, please, declaring various vehicles owned by the Village of Suffern to be no longer be needed for municipal purpose and to be surplus, please. Motion, please.
Motion, Trustee Alpert.
Motion made by Trustee Osborn. Can I get Alpert, can I get a second, please?
Trustee Hogue.
Second made by Trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you.
Treasurer, please.
Good evening, Mayor and board members. Congratulations on those who were newly elected. And Mayor, again, thank you for the appointment and the board's support for another 2 years.
It's a
One
pleasure.
item in front of
I have
you.
to say, it's a pleasure working with you. We've
Thank you,
had,
sir. Same here.
good thing, and you're helpful to the village, and I'm glad you're there with us.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. One item, resolution, so we can secure electric pricing at the best rate for the village from our consultant.
Okay. I just wanted the public to know that I've talked to the board about this, and I even had Steve Alpert look into it, because he always has concerns with electricity and whatnot. So we actually got this company that will get us a Constellation New Energy, and what they do is they actually go out and get you different prices every month, right? Instead of locking into. As we all know, electricity keeps going up and up, but they've offered new systems there, and Orange and Rockland themselves does not offer that same service. So we went to this other service, and we talked to them, and it's a different way of doing business, but based on last year, we'll do better. We'll do better. So than we did the previous years, or we won't go up as much as you might go up based on the electric cost. So can I get a motion authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Constellation New Energy for the supply of electricity with also the approval of our village attorney, Terry Rice? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second made by trustee Osborn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there any reason for executive session? Anyone have any reason for it? No. Chief, you want executive session for anything? No. You're all right? Okay, good.
I did want to add something, just to add something to the thing with the electricity. One thing that a lot of times the public doesn't always understand, the thing that keeps going up every year is actually the delivery costs from the power company, and that's the same no matter where you get your energy, the actual commodity supply from. The deal that's being made does not affect the delivery. Of course, that goes up and up from Orange and Rockland, but it's the supply, which actually varies month to month. Some months higher, some months lower. Typically in the summer it's higher, typically in the spring it's lower, that sort of thing. And they have this system that's able to go after power, make a deal on a monthly basis and get a better price than Orange and Rockland would otherwise pass through. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I just said that.
But I didn't mention. I wanted to separate the delivery.
Steve,
I just wanted to separate the delivery component. That's all.
I'm joking. Relax. Take it easy. Anyway, so, all right. At this point, the trustees have anything to say? Anything to say about anything? No. No. Just thank you again. Thank you to everyone. We'll work hard on this board. Just today, I was with Charles Sawicki and also with Danielle in the office, and Melissa Raymer. So we'd definitely, hopefully, by the late spring, hopefully we have new lighting downtown, really light up the downtown. So that we think is a very important, thing to exist here. Since there's nothing else, can I please have a motion to close the meeting, please? Motion, please.
Trustee Corrigan.
Motion made by trustee Corrigan. Can I get a second, please?
Trustee Hogue.
Second made by trustee Hogue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, folks, for coming out.
I'll throw them out.
We have a lot of holiday events. Please enjoy all the holiday events coming up. And Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy everything.